Hey everyone, my name is Stars and welcome back. Today we're talking about our weapon options. We'll be talking about their uses, when you would need them, each of their variants, and what variant is best for traveling. I will be covering a lot of Tales from the Far Territory content here, so if you want to stay blind to that, here is your spoiler warning. Let's not waste any time and hop right into the Distress Pistol. The Distress Pistol's key use is being the most reliable way to scare off wildlife. It is the only weapon that will guarantee that you frighten off a charging bear or moose. The pistol itself weighs 0.4 kilograms, while each shell weighs 0.05 kilograms. It can only have one shell loaded at a time, and it takes a decent amount of time to reload it. Each flare shell lasts for 20 in-game minutes, and while the flare is active, wolves and timberwolves cannot approach the flare location. Flare shells cannot be created like bullets, however, so you must choose when to fire around carefully because you have very limited amount of them. But some of you may be thinking, well, can you really even consider it a weapon if all it does is scare wildlife? Yes. Yes, you can, because it can also do damage. If you fire it and the flare makes a direct impact with wildlife, there is a chance that it will cause damage or even kill what you hit. The biggest caveat to this is that since the flare is so effective at frightening wildlife, you need to wait for the wildlife to get very close to you in order to make a reliable shot for damage. And if you wait too long, you may find yourself in an unwanted struggle. So keep that in mind if you want to attempt to use the Distress Pistol for offense. So when would you need to bring a Distress Pistol? The Distress Pistol is best used for defense, and is the most reliable item for scaring off larger wildlife, so you need to ask yourself a couple questions. First of all, do you know the areas that bears and moose typically roam? If you do, then you simply keep an eye out for those animals or avoid them while traveling, so you don't need to bring a Distress Pistol at all. Second, do you have the means of deterring wildlife in an emergency, such as flares or a firearm? And finally, do you need to use it to try to hunt? There are some situations where the Distress Pistol can be used as a method to hunt larger game when you have no other alternatives. If you find yourself in that situation, you could take the Distress Pistol on a hunting trip. But beyond those circumstances, the Distress Pistol can be left behind, especially if you're confident that you can avoid large wildlife or have other means of deterring smaller wildlife. Since the Distress Pistol has no variants, and you now know when you would need one, we are done with this weapon. So let's move on to the Revolver. The Revolver has a couple uses. A regular unloaded revolver weighs 1.5 kilograms, and each round weighs 0.01 kilograms. It holds up to 6 rounds at once, reliably kills rabbits and ptarmigans, scares off wolves, and could possibly even kill a wolf with a well-placed shot. And, if you're cool like me, you could even kill a deer. You really like me, don't you? Oh, what a shot! But I wouldn't rely on it. It's pretty hard to be as cool as I am. Anyways, putting that aside, you also should find an abundance of rounds for the revolver, so you don't need to be nearly as stingy with it as you would the Distress Pistol. So when should you bring a revolver? I recommend bringing a revolver with you on any journey that you aren't bringing a rifle. This is because, due to its incredible effectiveness at deterring wolves, you can leave a lot of things behind when you have a revolver, such as flares and marine flares. You can treat a revolver as your perfect self-defense choice for long trips where you don't intend to do a lot of hunting. Now let's talk about the variants. The Forester's Revolver, the Hunter's Revolver, and the Warden's Revolver. The Forester's Revolver has 33% more durability than the regular revolver, but has no rear iron sights, potentially making it harder to aim accurately. The Hunter's Revolver weighs 1.75 kilograms, which is 0.25 more than a regular revolver, but it does double the effective range of the revolver from 30 meters to 60 meters. The Warden's Revolver is 0.25 kilograms less than the regular revolver, and it has a 25% faster drawing time from all other revolvers. The caveat here is that it does reduce the effective range of the revolver from 30 meters to 20 meters. Looking at all this, the best revolver for long travel is easily the Warden's Revolver. Since the revolver's key usage on these trips is going to be self-defense from wolves, the reduction in effective range won't actually affect you that much. You can fire a shot from a distance to scare a wolf before it sees you, in which case doing damage won't matter, or you could fire a shot at a charging wolf, in which case the wolf should already be within the Warden's Revolver's effective range. It also does well against timberwolves, as timberwolves will typically circle you within that effective range as well. Knowing that, you could get the 0.25 kilogram of weight saved, and each little bit counts. While I recommend the Warden's Revolver for traveling, I do want to point out the strengths of the other variants. The Forester's Revolver and Hunter's Revolver are both very good if you want to hunt with a revolver. The extra range of the Hunter's Revolver is nice if you want to keep your distance, and the Forester's Revolver's extra durability is very nice for keeping it intact in the long run. The last thing I will mention is how much ammo you should carry. Ammunition on Great Bear falls into the same trap that matches do. They weigh so little individually that you don't even consider how much that would build up into a large weight commitment later on. I recommend never taking more than 4 full mags of ammo, so 1 loaded revolver with 18 spare bullets in your pack, especially if you are traveling somewhere new and will likely find more bullets. In my own personal long-term stalker save, I regularly leave behind nearly 200 rounds at my main safe house, which is an entire 2 kilograms of space saved by knowing to drop extra bullets. Now let's talk about our rifles. The basic rifle weighs 4 kilograms, with each round weighing 0.02 kilograms. It can hold up to 10 rounds at once, and its main use is to take down larger game such as wolves, deer, bears, moose, and cougars. You should only take a rifle with you in 2 scenarios. 1, if you aren't going out hunting, and 2, if you're going through a travel route with a cougar. If you aren't confident in your ability to avoid bears or moose, you could also make an argument for bringing a rifle in case you cross their paths. But since the rifle is such a heavy weapon, try to leave it behind as much as you can. So let's discuss rifle variants. We have Vaughn's rifle, Barb's rifle, the Curator's rifle, and the new Bunker rifle. Vaughn's rifle is light, fast, and fragile. It weighs 1 whole kilogram less than the basic rifle, has a fire rate that is an entire second faster, and a reload cooldown that is 0.5 seconds faster. The downside here is that Vaughn's rifle degrades 33% faster than the base rifle, losing 2% condition per shot instead of the base 1.33 condition. Barb's rifle is simple. It weighs 0.5 kilograms more than a regular rifle, and it only loses 1% condition per shot instead of 1.33 condition. The Curator's rifle is even simpler. The only difference is that it has an effective range that is 33% farther than the hunting rifle. And now for the youngest of the rifle siblings, the new Bunker rifle. The Bunker rifle only weighs 1.5 kilograms, which is 2.5 kilograms less than a basic rifle, and it sways less than the other rifles as well. However, it degrades 66% faster, losing a whopping 4 condition with each shot. So looking at these options, we need to pick one that is best, right? Not necessarily. Firearm cleaning kits are not a replenishable resource in the game, so while the Bunker rifle may seem far and away the best option, it does eat through cleaning kits. So here's what you should do. If you're taking a rifle for self-defense from cougars, bears, or moose, bring a Bunker rifle, since if all goes well on the journey, you won't need to fire any shots at all, and you'll be saving 2.5 kilograms of room. If you're going on a longer trip where you expect to need to do some hunting, take Vaughn's rifle. It saves you some weight, but can handle quite a bit more abuse than the Bunker rifle. And if you're going for a shorter journey dedicated specifically for hunting, I recommend the Curator's rifle, as it is the same in every way to a standard rifle, but it gives you bonus range. Now, a couple more things to note with rifles. Their rounds are twice as heavy as revolver rounds, and are a fair bit rarer, so you should be even more stingy with how many you bring in your pack. If you're going on a shorter hunting trip, you won't need more than 15 rounds, which even that is a bit much. For longer journeys where you expect to need to hunt, I'd bring 20. 10 in the chamber, 10 in your pack. And for self-defense trips, I would just fill up your chamber and not bring any spare rounds at all. The final thing is, if you have a rifle on you, leave your revolver behind. You'd be better off taking a couple flares or even a distress pistol and saving upwards of a kilogram of space in doing so. Let's close this out with the survival bow. The survival bow weighs 0.5 kilograms and has 3 different arrow types, which we'll go over in a little bit. It is most used as a method for hunting and defense for people who don't have access to firearms, and is a must-have in interloper. If you don't have any firearms, then you should bring a bow with a couple arrows with you for self-defense or for hunting. For survival bow variants, we have the sports bow, woodwright's bow, and bushcraft bow. The sport bow is 0.35 kilograms, 0.15 kilograms less than the survival bow, and has 62.5% more total durability. The woodwright's bow weighs 0.25 kilograms more than a basic bow, but it sways 30% less and has double the durability. And now we have the brand new bushcraft bow. Since it is so new, not all the specifics are known about it for sure. It only weighs 0.5 kilograms, deals 25% more damage, and is more durable, although we don't know exactly how much more durable it is. The last thing to note is that the bushcraft bow seems to have a higher probability of breaking earlier on, possibly having a chance to break once under 50% condition, as opposed to the other bow's 10% condition. What makes up for this, though, is that the bushcraft bow is the only bow variant that can be crafted, so you could continue to use it into the late game, even in interloper. Looking at this selection, we don't have a whole lot of standouts other than the sports bow, so I would recommend this. If you have access to a sports bow, then bring it with you on longer journeys. If you're going on shorter hunting trips that are in very much the immediate area of your safe house, bring the woodwright's bow. It is heavier, but you're going to save your lighter bow's durability for those longer journeys. If you don't have any bow variants available, then a survival bow or a bushcraft bow could be used interchangeably for the most part, with a choice being up to your preference. But before we can close out this video, we need to talk about the arrow types. We have fire-hardened arrows, which weigh 0.1 kilograms each, simple arrows, 0.15 kilograms each, and manufactured arrows, which are also 0.15 kilograms each. Fire-hardened arrows are very easy to make and don't require any cured crafting materials or arrowheads. They are also incredibly fragile, often breaking in 2 to 3 uses, and they only deal damage to rabbits and ptarmigans. If you make a direct hit with a charging wolf with this arrow, it has a 75% chance of scaring it off, but hitting a wolf or any larger wildlife will almost always break the arrow instantly. Simple arrows require cured crafting materials and arrowheads, but can be harvested when broken to reclaim the arrowhead. They are more durable and can last for several uses depending on the target hit when used. If you hit a hard surface with your arrow, it'll lose up to 46% condition. Hitting an animal will lose 27% condition. Hitting snow will lose between 3 to 5% condition, and hitting a hard surface from very close up will break your arrow instantly. The manufactured arrow cannot be crafted and must be traded for, but it is a complete improvement over simple arrows, weighing the same, but dealing 12.5% more damage and far more durable. You cannot harvest them once broken, however. If you are hunting large game, bring 3 to 5 simple or manufactured arrows, opting for manufactured arrows especially on larger targets. If you are hunting small game, use fire-hardened arrows to preserve the durability of those better arrows, although I would recommend just using stones to try and preserve your bow's durability altogether. If you aren't going out to hunt and instead have a bow for self-defense, I would still recommend using simple arrows, especially in Interloper, because although a 75% chance to scare a wolf does seem like a lot, all it takes is one bad wolf struggle to end even the best of Interloper runs. And that's all for today, folks. Next time we'll be closing out the series by going over how a lot of the information from the series may change in Interloper and Misery. As always, if I missed anything or got anything wrong, please let me know, as I care a lot about the integrity of this information. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.